Hey guys, and welcome to Top Channel One-on-One. So I'm working on destruction tools 2, which is basically a number of tools that I use for creating destroyed environments. And I've created a new slab generator, and I just wanted to show it off. It generates slabs like this with UVs and textures and everything. So let me just create an example here. You can start with a curve object like this and draw the shape you want. Say, let's say this is a slab that was hit and broke off halfway like that. And let me increase the polygon count just a bit like that. And let's say it also has maybe a hole in the middle just like that. Again, let me bring back some of that resolution back. Yeah, so something like that. All you have to do is convert this to a mesh and then select any object that has the generator. So like this, and then use Ctrl L to copy modifiers, and that will turn this into the slab with all the materials and the textures all set up for you. Of course, you can still customize this, but I'll recommend if you are trying to adjust things, you turn off UV unwrapping because UV unwrapping tends to slow down things, but you can still see where the materials are going to be, and I can add more rebar by going into the rebar section and just adding a little bit more, maybe raise it a bit up, so that would be the Z position, maybe raise that up. Or if I want some to protrude out, I can just increase, I think it's the depth, and push this back a bit, so we have some protruding out and some protruding down just like that. Let me reduce the depth a bit and raise this back up. We can do quite a little thing, bend the rebar, adjust the depth, the density. I don't want too much. Change the seeds, change the resolution. You can also change the damage. For example, I can play with the scale of the damage, add more or spread it out, basically increase the strength, which will expose more rebar just like this. Maybe add more detail in the damage. You can play around with the different settings. This is still editable. I can add another surface here, and you can see this now becomes part of this slab just like that. And when I'm done, I can simply turn on unwrap, and that will set up my UVs. And if you want to export it to a different DCC, for example Substance Painter, so that you do the texturing there, it has everything set up for you. So I can duplicate this using Shift D and just apply this modifier, Ctrl A. Okay, now if I go into edit mode, you can see that I have all my UVs set up, but I don't have the seams generated yet. So I can go under UV seams from islands, and you can see now my seams are generated. And now you can see that most of the islands are overlapping, so I can unwrap again. That way I get no overlaps, but I don't want these gaps, so I can use the pack islands, so that I get rid of the spaces and maximize UV space. I think this is good. Another thing you get with this is if you go to your object data, you see that there is color attributes you can use in other DCCs, for example in Substance Painter. If you go to Vertex Paint, let's go to Look Dev, and there is a color attribute. I'm going to remove the first one because that's not really what I'm looking for. The rebar have their own color, the inside parts have their own color, and the outside surface has its own color. This is very useful when it comes to texturing in other DCCs like Substance Painter. So I can export this as FBX. Let me call this 2222, and now open up new Substance file. So 222, import it, discard, and you can see we have this imported. So you can go to texture settings, bake maps, and you want to bake the ID as well. That's going to be the vertex colors. And if you're baking the ID, you need to make sure that you change the source to vertex color. And if you don't have this menu, mesh map, you have to go under, I think it's under window, mesh map settings, so that you get this and change this to vertex color instead of material ID. And now we can bake. So bake selected textures, and you can see that our IDs were baked. We can return to painting mode, and now we can start setting up some materials. So I can say, let's say this is concrete material, drag this onto the mesh, and you can see everything is that material. You can see everything, but let's say I want this to be on the inside material. All I have to do is add a mask, black mask, right click on that mask, and then add color selection and select, use the pick color to select the inside parts, and you can see now only the inside parts get that material. Let's say I want the surface to be a different material. Let's say, let me look for a surface, an interesting surface here. Let me use this jade material. Because this is a smart material, it comes as a folder. So I can just add another black mask and right click on that mask, add color selection, and because I want this to be the top, I can select the green part, and you can see that this is now affecting only the top. Then I can find a metal material for the rods or rebar, add that, and again do the same process, which is adding a mask, right click, add color selection, and select just the rebar. And you can see how quickly this has become. Then you can layer maybe dust on top of this. So I can find some dust. Maybe I can create a new layer and just use the dust on just that. So just add that and maybe make the dot like that. This is just a quick demonstration of how you can use this, and then you can export it to Blender. Export textures. I'll just call this I don't know, folder 2, export. You can see how quickly this workflow is. All I have to do now is just get rid of these materials, set up a new material. It's going to be the principal shader, Ctrl+Shift+T, and load in the new textures to these, import, and look at that. In just a matter of minutes. And it's not just this, I'm working on a few more, like this ground. You can see this has quite a few things. Yeah, all these are coming up in the Destruction Tools update. Links should be in the description. The update is also going to be available for my patrons as well. So thank you. Don't forget to check out my courses if you want to improve your Blender workflow and create more faster and easier, like my Geometry Nodes course, my Advanced Blender Effects course, and my Houdini course. All are getting constantly updated with new content. See you in the next video.